Welcome back to day 8 of our 12 days of sacred self, guiding you through the holidays and some of the deeper spiritual layers and concepts, of what is running the universe, of what it actually is that we're tapping into or can tap into, if we follow this inner impulse, this impulse to investigate our true self, our soul, and all these immaterial, these energies, that surround us. My name is Jona Bryndis. Many of you know me. I'm an energy trainer, energy coach, healer, and I train energy healers and practitioners. And what it is actually that we are learning here is not how to channel entities or anything like this. It's actually how to train our own consciousness. So we all go through different stages of consciousness development as individuals. And the goal of that is to fully embody the spirit being that we are, once we've discovered that this physical existence is merely a small part of what or who we truly are. So it's basically a redefinition of what it means to be human when we go through consciousness work, consciousness training. And some of these big stages, just to keep it practical and understandable without using too much lingo, we get to this here in a little bit. Some of these stages are, taking place on this bridge that we are trying to build with our growing consciousness, the bridge that can help us to harmonize this material part of our being, our 3D being, what we perceive as me, Jona Bryndis, with a name and with an ego, with a family, with a job, and so forth. And the soul that I am, that is basically the true me, that I cannot fully feel at all times. Now, in these last 7 days, we've discussed why that is the case. Why is it so difficult to remember, that we are fundamentally a consciousness. A consciousness is something immaterial. And why do we get pulled into the density of our 3D, our ego awareness, more than our consciousness? Well, the answer is simple, because we are, as a collective, still at the beginning of this transformation or this awakening process. Now, some of us have received this impulse to investigate their consciousness early in life. So you are more advanced perhaps than, let's say, the majority of people here on this planet. Maybe you even have something like a remembrance of having done this many times before. So here is a consecutiveness of things. There is a sort of a retro causality that we can begin to see, namely that we kind of seem to evolve from lifetime to lifetime. No matter what the individual egos were in previous incarnations or past lives. There is sort of a I don't want to call it bleed through, but a carryover. There is something that is recorded in us, that we can access in the next lifetime. And we've talked a little bit about this. the information that is being stored in our spirit self, and how we select what is being carried over. Many of you have quite a good understanding of karma already, and you can feel that when you end up in recurring or repeating patterns in life, that there is something deeper, something more ancient, something that doesn't necessarily relate to this particular lifetime, that must have carried over. And unfortunately, most of us still see karma as something negative, as something that we need to heal, something that we need to make up for. And it's not entirely incorrect. But once we understand that there are blessings in karma, it's like little post-it notes, that we carry with us on our journey that say, hey, remember, people pleasing isn't really what you are supposed to be doing, because you run into danger in losing yourself on the outside of yourself. And another post-it for somebody else could be, hey, egotistical, selfish behavior isn't really what is going to get you there. Because all it really does is create a lot of stress in you, requires you to control everything, and perhaps also other people, in order to maximize your gain. And some of us may have post-its that sound like, don't be afraid. You already know where this is going. Don't get yourself too overwhelmed with this earthly 3D experience. Remember who and what you are. And some of us may have a post-it that sounds more like, you do deserve to be loved. You are loved already. You don't have to perform in a certain way. You don't have to be in a certain way to experience love. Love is already in you. And there can be variations of that. You could replace love with peace, or harmony, or collaboration, mutuality, connection. So it's quite an interesting process that we go through, where we all have this potential to be our higher self. We all carry the seed, the divine spark in us. But it is so hard for us, to stay on course, to remember what it actually is that we came here for. And karma is just one of those tools. Here on today's contemplation, I would like to direct your attention to, once more, what is being recorded, which spiritual hierarchy actually does that in us, which part of us, and also how this is then translated. So the mechanics, the higher mechanics of how the universe works. And many of you are not quite there, that you really want to understand how the cosmos works. You rather want to understand how, let's say, manifestation works, right? How can I manifest a more loving, a more peaceful, a more healthy, a more sort of at ease kind of life? So let's relate all of this to conscious manifestation. these phases that I mentioned, these phases of consciousness work that we all go through in the course of several lifetimes, but also in the course of our individual life, roughly, okay, are awakening to something like a true self-awareness, the awakening that there is something else in you, that there is something immaterial, the soul being, the spirit being in you. And this is the first stage. You become aware that all the values and all the things that you're striving for are fundamentally immaterial values. Until then, you weren't aware of it, but love and harmony and peace and ease and joy, healing, abundance, those are all immaterial values. Those are not material values. Yes, if you believe in propaganda and advertising, then it may appear as if you can measure this in material goods, items, or what a good relationship is supposed to look like. But if you go just one level deeper, you find out that that's actually not a very sophisticated way of looking at life. It's more like, believing in Santa. It's very externalized. Yeah, it's like, if you just be good, then you get everything you want. Okay, and the truth is, that that's not how it works. So once you've experienced the pains of that, and also the fears and the loss and the doubts and all these catharses that we talked about yesterday, these painful experiences that motivate you to go farther, to seek, to investigate, then you come to a realization, or you can come to a realization in the second stage, that all your physical sensations, that all your emotions and feelings, and all your thoughts are not actually truly who you are. You have a consciousness, and that consciousness can observe all of that. So now you're beginning to refine your true self-awareness, through sort of a spiritual deepening of that. You're beginning to see how your thoughts and your emotions, and also your body connection, how that is all sort of depending on a lot of external things, but that you can escape that you can basically through, conscious breathing, mindfulness, meditation, these various methods of initiation, as I called them yesterday, that you can bypass them, not as in not having to deal with them, but as in, coming to your true senses. So as we are meditating, contemplating, learning these techniques to silence our mind, our emotion, and our body, we are beginning to form new organs, spiritual organs that allow us to see more. It's like, when the map opens up, for new things that are there that you couldn't see before, that you couldn't know before. And this is what consciousness work helps us with. It's sort of a systematic way of forming and training these spiritual organs in you, some of which you are familiar with, or most of you, called chakras or energy centers. And as you keep working with these sort of higher vibratory perception tools in you, you're beginning to see more. You're suddenly beginning to see, how your mind, how your emotions, and how your body are very manipulated sometimes, or how these energetic interactions between people are, how you often absorb energies from other people, or how you or others project a lot. Yeah, you're beginning to see the dynamics on a whole new level, on an immaterial level, and you begin to understand, yeah, that you merely have to become a good energy manager to stay with your own consciousness, yeah, to stay within your own present moment awareness, to become able to follow through with what it is that you want to manifest. And then the next stage, yeah, where you begin to realize that all these dynamics that are going on are constantly interacting, that there's a two-way interaction. You begin to redefine time. You begin to redefine past, present, and future. This does not happen until you have a really good grip on being fully present in the now, in the future self energy session marathon that we're doing right now. Yeah, we're learning this. It is not possible for you to consciously manifest a better future, yeah, if you don't have a good grip for when your energy is in the past, in the present, or in the future. Yeah, and the main issue, I've mentioned this on many occasions here on my channel, you'll find a lot of videos about conscious manifestation. The main mistake we make here is that, unbeknownst to us, yeah, until we come to this stage of illumination, our energy is mostly in the past. Yeah, we keep getting pulled back into these repetitions, yeah, into the pain of the past. Or the other variation is that we get pulled into the fears of the unknown future. Yeah, this is more for people who have a tendency to be anxious, yeah, to not being able to muster the courage to actually step into the future. A lot of times it's actually a combination. It's the pain of the past and the fear of the future that influence our ego in a way that we cannot fully internalize our power to consciously manifest. So we're not really aware that we could. Well, yesterday we learned that if we knew better, we would do better. So all this talk about consciousness work and awareness and stages of this and that is just there to give you a roadmap. Because once you become aware of these mechanics, things become a lot easier. There is a power in understanding how the universe works. There is a power in understanding the forces and the dynamics that are expressing on the outside and the inside, yeah, on the physical 3D material level and on the spiritual level. And at this last stage of awakening or awareness forming, if you will, you begin to see this in context. You begin to see the larger wheels of time. You begin to see sort of the laws. Yeah? You begin to understand, maybe not fully. You don't have to have a PhD in this. This is your spiritual perception that allows you to tap into this. And now you begin to understand that you do have the power not only to transmute the pain of the past and the fear of the future, but to co-create, to transubstantiate, to change the form of yourself and the reality that you're in. This is a very high level of awareness, guys. And as I've mentioned before, without trying to scare you away, this takes many years of training, to be able to hold this, to be able to follow through. I had to have not just the courage and hope and faith and all that, but to actually muster the will, the spiritual will, the spiritual power to follow through. And this can only happen, and this is where most of us falter in our day-to-day life, if we realize all the responsibility that comes with this power. When you are fully individuated as a soul self, you are fully accountable for all your manifestations. And the ego does not like that. The ego contextualizes it as a punishment, just like how we tend to look at karma as a punishment. Karma is not a punishment. Karma is a tool. It's a blessing. Self-responsibility is not a punishment. And yesterday we learned about the powers of self-correction. Self-accountability is like a driver's license, is the license to be a spiritual grown-up and participate in life on the most active level. It's you recognizing how all that you live, all that you embody, all that you feel, that you dream, that you sing, that you do, that you talk, is a form of energy that materializes, that manifests something. So if you are asking yourself, why is my life so hard and why do I have to go through? Maybe change that question from why to how. Everything that you experience today is the consequence of all thoughts, sentiments, feelings, dreams, and your alignment of the past. And this is scary for the ego, because the ego would like to externalize it. The ego would like to be a victim. But that's the problem, guys. With conscious manifestation, you can't be a victim and a conscious co-creator at the same time. You have to make a choice. You have to conceive yourself as the one that co-creates, as the one that consciously manifests. Without that, without you being willing to step into this accountability and say, okay, this didn't go well. Let's do it better next time. Without being willing to strive for betterment, to strive for the higher expression, to strive for that which is already conceived in you through divine consciousness, to bring that into manifestation, to bring that into materialization. This is the level of spiritual hierarchy on the 8th day, at the level of what is often referred to as the thrones. It is the powers that can transubstantiate, that can convert, if you will, transform ideas, conceptions, inspirations into actions. And it is also associated with the divine masculine that conceives and directs. The divine masculine in you the part in you that can become aware of your own thinking. Not that the divine feminine can't do that, but it is more geared toward becoming aware to the feeling, to your own thinking, and what it is that you hold in mind running through your life. And once more, if you externalize the power to manifest, if you externalize everything about you, who you are, who you think you need to be, what you need to represent, is all external. You cannot be a conscious co-creator. You cannot consciously manifest. You will inadvertently, without you being conscious of it, manifest the same old. You will manifest all that you are afraid of, that you no longer want, because that is what has substantiated already. You see? So the problem with conscious manifestation is not about all the things that are in the way. The problem with conscious manifestation is you not being able to, or willing to, or ready yet conscious enough to conceive yourself in that way. And that is linked to accountability. That is linked to you looking at yourself, taking an inventory of all that you think, you dream, you do. Yes, and on an earthly level, this comes to us as guilt and shame and bad conscience, sorry. But you got to transmute that, because on a spiritual level, this is an extremely powerful force in you that shows you what didn't go well, that shows you, or at least lets you seek the better version of it, the higher striving. You see? This is a recontextualization of all that you conceive that needs to happen. And this is associated with divine masculine energies, because they are the ones that direct your energy. So you have to have the sandbox, the ground, the terrain in which this can happen as one building block of your bridge. And then you have to have the impulse, the arrow, the direction in which you want to go. We so talk about alignments all the time. This is a higher alignment in you. And not everybody will choose the higher route. Not everybody will choose the betterment through love, peace, healing, and so forth. Why? Because we have a free will. And this free will allows us to go the lower route, to choose to dominate others or take away from others, or just try to maximize self-gain. We can do that too. But what do you think is going to come up as a recording for this person in their next life? What do you think is coming up for that person as karmic lesson? Exactly that. Exactly that which they chose as alignment in the previous learning or previous class. All right. And why is that? That's an extremely powerful question. Why? Because there is a higher consciousness, what we call divine consciousness, that has conceived what this higher version of us is. Another way to say what I just said is that we were brought into existence through a higher consciousness, divine consciousness, in its own likeness. Let us sit here for a moment. We have been conceived as beings, like little baby gods, okay? And are on their way to become divine consciousness, and yet we already have it in us. This is the big lesson here of this 3D life, of this 3D class. And once you can fully internalize this, not only do you understand that looking into the future really is a matter of your ability to go to transmute the 3D, go beyond it, and look at basically what comes next. And how you have to be accountable for all that, not in this way that the Egyptians or the Greeks or some other ancient civilizations looked at it, but as a conscious soul self, you can no longer lie to yourself. So in a way, you are already working for your next stage. You're working for something much greater. You are collecting the treasures for heaven, not for earth. That's just one class. These spiritual hierarchies that I am showing you here, guys, those are the next classes. I know it's all hard to imagine and it's very abstract, but if you feel into what I'm saying, if you feel into how you conceive yourself and how your true self is helping you to stay on course, as sort of this mediator between this higher version in you that already knows where it's going to go. And if you then take that and translate that into the 3D, into the material, as if it already were, if you let go of all the things that you think you have to be, or that other people want you to be, or that you think you need to do, it's very dangerous from a manifesting point of view, because what you think you are, what you think you need to do, comes only from your ego mind, guys. That is nowhere near able to conceive the bigger picture. So in order to tap into that power that I spoke about, understanding the greater concept and the way the universe works, you don't have to know the details. You can feel this. Where do you feel this? Through the center of your heart. This is maybe a picture for you, or maybe it's a song for you, or maybe it's a geometrical shape, or maybe it's a feeling or something that you conceive in some ways that I described as your spiritual perception. It's irrelevant. You can feel the truth in your heart. So it's not the mind that conceives. It's the spirit in you. And the spirit in you works through your heart center, through the center of you, the Sacré-Cœur, the Sacred Heart. This is what you need to orient yourself to. That's why our true self is often such a scary thing for people, because they see this as something externalized, as something like a judge. See it as your training buddy, the one that says, hey, hon, I know this is really tempting right now. I know you got a lot of fear thoughts. I know you have a lot of sentimental attachment. I know you have a lot of this and that going on, anger or hatred or whatever. But remember, that's not who you are. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your body. Yeah, let's do this. Let's better. Let's work with this. And yes, some things are painful to look at. Yeah, but yesterday we've learned that this pain, the catharsis, going through loss, going through recognizing that, we cannot really hold on to any of these 3D things anyway. That it's not really about that, but we're here for a reason. So attendance matters. You have to show up in 3D, okay? But for a different goal, for a different overall direction. And that is how we create a new future. And right now, guys, we are at an extremely interesting time. All of us here that have chosen to incarnate right now, it's extremely interesting because we are on the threshold of one of the largest or biggest or greatest transformations of all time. We are awakening not only to our higher consciousness, we are also awakening to our lower stuff. We are awakening to darkness as well. And this pathway through darkness, becoming aware of how, well, you can call it your inner darkness, pain, fear, victimhood, all these things, anger, hatred. But again, there's also a spiritual reality behind that, and those are just dark forces that are working through you. Those are the areas where you are not congruent, where you have schisms, where you are not embodying, who you think you are. So these lessons that we are learning here in this day and age, they all have to do with discernment. They all have to do with understanding things in a new way, transmuting our old ways of thinking. And that's why consciousness work is probably one of the most powerful, if not the most instrumental tool that we can apply or that we can seek at this day and age. Because we can. So let's exercise this part in us, our sacred heart, the gateway to our higher self experience now, with the 5-minute alignment for the divine masculine. You already have the link for it here in your chat. Divine masculine.
I am one with the divine, balanced and whole. I honor my body and life force as the vehicles of my sacred journey, serving me with the inner experience of my sacred self. By aligning myself to the love that permeates in my body, mind, and spirit, every cell, thought, sentiment, and sensation, I honor the divine soul of the Father in me that fills me with the love He has for all creation. He gives me the motivation, strength, and courage to walk over the bridge of the deepest abyss in me, so that I can tame the rawness of this power and refrain from the temptations of misusing it. I understand now that I need to be open and I need to trust in this divine masculine love in me at all times, as its guidance helps me to overcome fear and passivity and empowers me to shine my light into the darkness. Due to the power of this alignment to my sacred heart, I can expel all foreign implants and false programming recorded in any dimension or time, and declare my soul purified and cleared from any entity or energy stating otherwise. Without this love for creation that is so much bigger than my ego, I feel empty, lonely, and unworthy, and cannot connect with the inner power to self-express. I herewith claim the right to love myself unconditionally. I don't need proof from the outside that I am worthy. I exist, and that's proof enough. That the divine love and the grace of the sacred life force flows through me at all times. With every conscious breath, I honor creation and allow its power and wisdom to grow in me and to nurture me and all my relations. Divine Father, in front of you I bow. I surrender all that I am, that I was, and all that I pretended to be into your hands. I confess to the power of the divine permeating through me and dedicate my sacred journey only to expressions of divine love. I love all that I am. Thank you.
How are you feeling? Does anybody want to share how this alignment is sitting with you.
Hi, it's Annette. I felt very, very humble. And then there was a sudden strength coming. Yeah. I didn't get any pictures of it. It was just feelings of humbleness and then very powerful strength, inner strength.
Inner strength.
Yeah.
If we think about what is preventing us from accessing our inner strength, right? I'm sitting here and talking about you have this inner strength and you just don't know it yet. You just got to believe in it and trust in it, right? I keep saying the same thing over and over again. But if you think about it, what is it actually in us that prevents us from accessing our inner strength?
Fear.
Yeah. So there's something here in this alignment, that allows us to overcome that. Justina's sharing here in the chat that she's more aware of her inner tensions, the schisms that work sort of against one another within ourselves. So that can also be something that keeps us from accessing our inner strength. Emer, you seem like you're eager to share.
Yeah, I feel like the same as a few days ago. I don't remember what day it was, but again, this feeling of breaking through a chrysalis, and just this kind of, it's like somebody or something is pushing me, saying, just do it, just get it, sort of get yourself, get it together, and stop doubting yourself, and just get on with it. Yeah.
Stop doubting yourself.
Yeah. Just do it. Just do it. Not sure what it is, but...
Well, this is something that needs to be conceived through our own consciousness. Everything that exists, everything that is materialized here in this 3D world was conceived by a consciousness before. Now, the bigger plan, what you are supposed, the butterfly that you're supposed to become, let's say maybe 10,000 years from now or longer, you cannot really control that. That's already there. But the way you go through this chrysalis phase and, break out of it to liberate yourself from the confines of these external walls, that's up to you. We all kind of know what's coming now. I do, because I constantly report about it. So it's already clear what has to happen here next in these next 10 years. I have forecasts there that reach till 27 on my channel. So these things are already conceived. They have to happen. But whether or not we have to suffer through this, how are we going to perceive this and what we are able to manifest for our own reality, that depends on our resolve. That depends on these powers, the spirit of will in us. So since we are here in these last days of 2023, use this time right now, to more consciously align to this inner strength. Yeah, the spirits of will, the thrones, as I called them earlier. They are the ones that turn the wheel of time. You have this power in you as well. Even if all I'm saying sounds like fantastical or mythical stuff, it doesn't matter. Yeah, for our little ego brain, the universe truly is mysterious. And that's okay. But I'm telling you that you have the capability to become active part in it. And that's good news, guys. Because that means that you don't have to be a victim. You don't have to be dependent on all these outer things and even some of your inner things. You can change this. Just not through going harder and doing more of the same. Yeah? For you to be able to manifest a new future, you have to open yourself for new ideas. And that requires you to do an inventory of your old ideas. So with that, I would like to leave you into this conscious manifestation process. Those of you who are part here of this energy training club, we are going to see each other in 5 minutes to continue with our future self energy marathon. I love you guys. Thank you so much for sharing. See you tomorrow.